It's Azumo versus Antrezi. It is Zoo versus Murlocs. One game to decide who moves on to the grand finals of the World Championships. Antrezi has taken down many giants so far in this playoffs, including the reigning champion Tom60229. Can he take out one more giant of the game in Azumo with his Murloc Paladin?
I mean, both players have some pretty impressive opening hands. In this kind of aggressive mirror, both players are just going to look to take early board control and then get into their mid-game power plays, like this double call to arms we see from Antrezi.
What an outstanding opening hand right there. Grimscale Chum going to buff up that Tidecaller. He's going to have Coin Call to Arms on turn 3 to another Call to Arms on turn 4. Azumo, by the way, has a nice 1 into 2 drop. He's going to look to perhaps buff it on turn 3. He has other ways in which he can, maybe just tap, find more answers as well. A little bit of a clunky hand now outside of his 1-2 drops with that double Spellbreaker, but he's got board control early, and that's what he needs.
Yep, going first has really paid dividends for Azumo, as he was able to get the first minion out and make a value trade. And Treesy's decided that he in fact wants to take out this Vulgar Homunculus with 2 hits of the Rallying Blade, taking an early hit there.
That is an interesting play, if I do say so myself. The fact that he doesn't really have any board to protect to start with, but I guess he just values taking out that Homunculus, but the Glacial Shard, a great tap from Azumo, you're going to freeze him in place, and Azumo has the board early on against a Murloc Paladin. That's what you need if you're going to win this matchup.
Yep. And so I think the reasoning behind Antrezi's play there was he wanted to get a Tidecaller into maybe a 2-drop Murloc to avoid playing the Tidecall last turn and to float a single mana, but it's just resulted in floating a mana this turn and just taking extra damage from this Vulgar Homunculus.
And even more buffs now in hand for Azumo, as well as a Soulfire that can take out that 3-4. He's going to have a good chance here. Look at this. He's going to buff up the Homunculus. He's going to take out the Tidecaller. He's got complete board control, and now this Homunculus has just done a lot of damage to the face so far.
Yep, some of it self-inflicted by Antrezi. So now we're going to finally see this Call to Arms come out, and it gets a couple of good Murlocs, as well as the 1-1 Taunt.
And throws his face in one more time. No jugglers on that side of things for Antrezi right now. So already we are on turn 5, and Antrezi is down to 16 health against Azumo, but at the very least he finally has the board back on his side.
Yep, but this Spellbreaker is going to allow this 5-1 to do a little bit more work for Azumo. Value trade into that 2-3 problematic Murloc, and this Voidwalk is just going to shut out these 2 1-attack minions.
So finally, Antrezi, he's going to drop the second Call to Arms. We've seen the first one, so hopefully he gets some juggles out of this one. Here comes the Call to Arms. Do we get any knife jugglers? There's one to face. Here's the second. It goes to Spellbreaker.
That's not the outcome that Antrezi was looking for. He was really hoping to get a juggle into the Voidwalker so he could polish it off with these 2 1-attack minions.
So the big question here, Robson, is do you trade these 2 minions in, or do you just hold back knowing you have a 5-2 minion advantage right now?
I mean, you've really got to be aware of the possibility of Despicable Dreadlord coming down in the kind of mid-game. I think it makes sense to just send in the 1-attack minion. It's not going to do anything else in this game at this point.
And now the Crystal Weaver going to be thrown out there. A solid body with a 5-4 that's going to buff his Taunt minion to a 2-2. Now he has the ability to buff this with a Demon Fire or throw it at a minion if he wants to. It looks like he's thinking about just buffing. No, he's going to go at the Tidecaller. So remove 2 minions right away. He's going to take out the Juggler. He's even going to go so far to take out that 1-3. Again, Azumo has the board back on his side. Now Antrezi has used both Call to Arms, and he still does not have the board on his side. He's got to find a way to swing this game around, and perhaps the Hydrologist into the Purifier's Maul is the way to do that.
Yep, it's either Hydrologist into Purifier's Maul with a secret, or just Hydrologist Gentle Negasaur. And Negasaur would probably just be looking for Divine Shield at this point, so you might just go straight away with the Hydrologist secret Maul play to guarantee the Divine Shield and get the value trade onto this 4-1.
And if he drops that Hydrologist, most likely going to look for something like Noble Sacrifice to help him out here. Let's see what he gets. Those are not 3 secrets that you want to see.
Yeah, probably the Getaway Kodo is going to be the pick here. Just get a reroll. Nope. he's going for the eye for an eye. Maybe Antreezy's going to try and race down Azumo just by secrets.
Look at this. So he's going to take out one minion, leave a... And he goes into the Crystal Weaver, so he wants to kill that over 2 turns, but he's at 11 health. And obviously, if this 5-2 goes to face, it's a great value. You're getting 1 mana for 5 damage to the face, but a Doomguard is in hand for Azumo. And, boy, you really wonder about that play by Antreezy. He obviously wants to race down his opponent. He wants to find a way to swing things on his side. But that was a risky play right there.
I think the weapon hit there kind of doesn't go along with the plan that the eye for an eye was saying. Like, he's saying that he wants to race Azumo, but
Look
he's also
at this. Murloc Warleader comes down. Drop a Megasaur on top of that. That's a lot of damage. If he finds Wind Fury, this could be lethal.
Doesn't find it.
Gets poisonous, +3 attack, and can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Or Robson, you got to think that poisonous is just staring him right at the face right now.
I think +3 attack has this kind of same position. Both of them will just allow him to clear the minions on the board right now and kind of set up a lethal position of his own. So I think +3 attack or poisonous, both equally viable here. Although poisonous is probably better just to push through any pesky taunts which might come down.
Antreezy just looking for some way to take down one more giant. Azumo, he's been so good this entire year in HCT. He just needs one more game to swing his way. He's got the Doomguard in hand to help him out. Poisonous comes down. Looks like he's going to take out both of these minions, give himself the chance to find more damage for lethal next turn. Wait a minute.
What? No.
Oh my goodness, he goes into the Crystal Weaver, putting him at 1 health. That's going to just win the game for Azumo. He's going to drop down a Doomguard, and Azumo is going to ride this Doomguard all the way in to the grand finals. Oh my goodness.
Antreezy was playing with fire with that line there. He took so much damage from weapons all the way through that game. Just Rallying Blade into the Homunculus, the Purifier's Maul into the 5-2, the 5-4 Crystal Weaver twice. Just took so much damage, and in the end, he put himself within the range for a Doomguard to just finish the job off.
Yeah, he found himself in harm's way so many times. You know, I think if we go back and look at this matchup, and especially if Antreezy goes back and look at it, there was a lot of plays here that one might consider, unconventional. The fact that he coined out his Rallying Blade on 2 as opposed to saving the coin for Call to Arms on 3. The fact that he did it on empty board. The fact that he put so much damage to his own face for the fact that for what? Maybe race down your opponent in some way, shape, or form. I think that if Antreezy goes back and watches this match, there's a lot of things he might do differently.
Yeah, I think that you could possibly say that just some of his lines seemed a little inconsistent. The eye for an eye suggests that he was going to race down Azumo, but then hitting him in the face, you kind of just like putting yourself back in that race. So I think it's possible that just in the heat of the moment, in the stress of the event, in his role as the underdog, Antreezy just kind of got a little bit bogged down in his own head and made a couple of questionable plays. Like, obviously, we can't downplay Antreezy's performance throughout this tournament and throughout this year even. He's been fantastic.
Absolutely. I think both of these players are going to hold their heads high, but Azumo will hold his head just a little bit higher, knowing that he is now just one match away from being crowned the world champion. And we will move on to the grand finals right after this.